Hey mama, if you're listening to this, you might be carrying a secret that feels too heavy to speak out loud. You look like you got it all together, you serve at church, maybe you even lead a Bible study. You smile when you drop off the kids, but no one sees the other side of you, the one that comes out behind closed doors. At home, you are a completely different person. You yell, you explode, you scream at your kids, sometimes in their face. You tell them to shut up. You grab them too harshly. You throw things across the room. You smack them in anger, twist their ears, spank them in rage, and immediately after, you are hit with a tidal wave of shame. You cry alone in your room and you whisper, "God, what is wrong with me?" You feel scared and disgusted by your own reactions. You're terrified that someone might find out. You wonder if your kids would be better off without you. You feel unworthy, broken, and too far gone to be redeemed. You try to fix this on your own. You listen to podcasts, parenting books, download freebies, but nothing changes. You keep falling back into the same patterns, and it feels like you are stuck in a cycle that you can't break. You don't trust yourself anymore, and if you're honest, you are afraid of who you become. But here's the truth, Mama. You are not beyond hope. You're not alone, and with God's help and the right support, you can change. I'm Elizabeth, a mom of 4 and an anger management coach for Christian moms. And inside my Calm Christian Mom coaching program, I guide women just like you through a powerful transformation. This isn't shallow behavior management. We go deep. We address your triggers, your stress, your mindset, your nervous system, and the spiritual root behind your patterns. We invite God into every layer and walk hand in hand towards healing. In just 12 weeks, you can become a completely different mom, unrecognizable. One who leads with patience, not panic. One whose children feel emotionally safe around her. One who cultivates peace. This summer, I'm offering a Calm Mama Strategy Session, a powerful 15-minute one-on-one coaching session designed to help you uncover the root of your anger and receive spiritual, emotional, and practical support. It's your chance to experience what coaching is like with me before diving deeper into ongoing support. If we both feel like the full program is the next right step, we can talk about what that looks like for you. You don't have to keep living like this. Your family is worth healing, and so are you. Use the link in the show notes to book the Calm Mama Strategy Session.
Hey friend, have you left me a review yet for the podcast? I would be so honored if you took 60 seconds of your time to let me know how this podcast has helped you and what you love about that show and what is your maybe favorite podcast episode. It would be super, super helpful. Reviews are the best ways that other people can get kind of a taste if this episode or this podcast would be a fit for them and if they might enjoy this show. So I would be so honored if you would do that for me, friend. Also, I wanted to share with you a couple of the reviews that came in the last week. And here's one from Anna. She says, love listening to Elizabeth. I hear her passion for being the best mom. This translates into so much motivation on my part as a listener. She is authentic and very honest about herself as well. Not only does she explain the material well, she gives great tips for incorporating it into daily life. She makes it easy to follow the advice. Highly recommend. Thank you, Anna, so much. All right, someone else here, Volleyball Frog. That is the name here. So I don't know who this is, but she says, amazing. I recently found Elizabeth's podcast and love it. Emotional regulation is challenging, an absolute must. Her information is so helpful. Cannot wait to listen to more. Thank you so much. And another one from Jessica. Elizabeth is so knowledgeable. I felt like she knew me. I felt so seen. I look forward to more episodes. And one from Kaysen. Help handling challenges of motherhood. Elizabeth gives practical advice for handling difficult emotions in motherhood. I love the tips and strategies found here, and I can implement into my everyday mom life. Thank you so much for Kaysen. And if you are a mom and you're enjoying this show, please leave me a review, and I might read it on the next podcast episode. Hey friend, are you a mom who struggles with mom anger? Are you constantly overreacting and screaming at your kids and feel like you're the worst mom in the world? Are you at home with your little ones all day long and you don't even get a break to yourself? Or when you do get that moment, you feel so guilty for taking or even wanting that alone time? Hey friend, I am here to support you and encourage you. I wanted to tell you that I am putting together a course. It is going to be an anger management course for Christian moms. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to call it, but if you are interested, in the show notes, you can click on the link that will help you get on the waiting list that will give you the details about the course when it comes out. So I am so excited to share with you that I'm putting this together for you because I want to support you, mama. If you are struggling with anger and lashing out in anger and things just feel so heavy and there's so much mom guilt, I am here. I'm on your team. I've been there and I want to help you out. Also, if you're walking in the midst of this and things are so hectic and overwhelming right now, did you know that I offer 45-minute coaching calls, and you can add on Voxer support. A Voxer is a walkie-talkie app where you and I just chat back and forth. So you can book a 45-minute session and we can talk all about things with motherhood, anger, frustration, no alone time, overreacting, screaming, calming your nervous system, how to create more order in your home, all the things that you're struggling with. So you come with a few questions that we can chat and I give you guidance. And then throughout the week, if you add on the Voxer support, throughout the week, for the next week, you can ask me more questions. I check in with you, making sure you're following through on the things that we talked on our coaching call. So, mama, I'm here to support you and guide you. And if you need that support, in the show notes, just scroll down to the section that says 45-minute coaching call and book a call with me. And I am so happy to talk to you and offer you that support and guidance. All right, let's get into our episode. Well, hello, friend. Today I get to share with you my February monthly review. I started this new thing in the new year where I do review of the previous month and I share with you kind of things that have been going on with me and my family, something that I think would be good for you to learn from me, just to get to know me a little bit better behind the scenes. So in this episode, I'll be sharing with you how we visited our family in Minnesota and for my brother's wedding, and then the stomach bug that hit our home, and just me even screaming at the kids. So if you want to learn more about that, listen in. Okay, so a little bit ago, my brother got engaged in the fall of 2022, and he decided to get married, which is super exciting because I come from a family of 6 kids, and this is my youngest brother. He's already in his mid-20s, and he found the gal that he fell in love with, and I think they're a great fit for each other. Anyways, they had a wedding set up on February 10th. So originally, I was supposed to fly there with my youngest daughter. We told our family and my husband's family that it's just me coming with my youngest daughter. But what we actually did was we decided to surprise our families and come as a whole family to visit them for a whole week. So we organized this with my brother, who was getting married, for him to pick us from the airport, and we went to Minnesota to surprise our family. So if you haven't flown with 4 kids, or if you've ever flown with kids, you know that it's not as easy and simple as it seems. Besides just getting everything ready and to go and packing for my husband packs his stuff, but I always pack for the kids and think of all these other things that we need to do. Pause, the mail delivery and making sure all the little things around the house that are done that need to get done, and, reserving parking for our car at the airport. Anyways, we were flying with 4 kids. Our boys did really, really well. It just helps for them. You know what? They just watch stuff on the tablet the whole time, which is fine. I just needed them to be quiet on the plane. But my little one, she's 20 months old. She struggled on the flight there. She was not doing too well. She was a little bit antsy. She wanted to run around, not happy that she had to be in one spot. But as you know, you just power through and you just do what you can. You try your best. So if you're a parent who has ever flown at an airplane with a little one who's screaming in the seat, I know that you are doing your best to get that baby to stay calm and quiet. I know you're doing your best. And maybe if people are giving you dirty looks, they maybe don't have kids or haven't had a kid for a while, because every parent who remembers what it's like to have a baby at that age knows that no one else wants more for that baby to calm down and be quiet than the parent of that baby. So if you're ever in the airport and you are flying with a little one, I know you're doing your best. And if your baby is screaming and crying, please check out my recent episode that I just released. It's called Feel Triggered and Angry with a Crying Baby, 5 Tips to Help You Remain Calm and Regulate When Your Baby is Screaming. So episode 108, go back to that one, and I think you will find it really helpful to give you some helpful tips when your baby is screaming. Okay, so we came to Minnesota. We came to my parents' house. My mom was still at work and my dad was still at work. And when they came into the house, we surprised them that we were all there. The kids were super excited to surprise our family. My dad is kind of not really emotional. He's just super neutral. He's like, okay, awesome, great. But my mom was really happy and super emotional. So I am so glad we were able to do that for her and give that surprise to her, because she loves good surprises. So we had such a good time connecting with our families and just spending time together. So my husband and I, both of our families still live in Minnesota, and we both come from larger families. And so there was lots of people in the same household, lots of noise, lots of overstimulation, not really much alone time, which totally understandable, right? We came there to hang out with them and spend time with them. So it was really fun, but at the same time draining, because I am an introvert, even though I really enjoy spending time with family. And I am so blessed. God has blessed me in this area of my life a lot. I'm so fortunate to grow up in a good home with loving parents. My mom is an absolute gem. She has a good relationship with all of her kids. She is just a godly woman and such an example for me in so many ways. And I have a really good relationship with her. So it was just so life-giving to just connect with family and my siblings and their kiddos. And it was really, really fun to spend time with them. The wedding was great. We didn't have to do any work. Her side of the family just did all the work to prepare and organize. We literally just showed up, took pictures, were there for the ceremony and the reception, and then we left. But it was super, super fun to just see and remember, like, you know how when you're just in love and you're getting married, like, your mindset is so different. I remember when my husband and I were getting married, and you have a different type of love like before you get married and then after you get married. So my husband and I, we never kissed before our wedding. And I was just really strict with those boundaries because I was in the whole purity culture during that time, being in a conservative kind of upbringing. Anyways, I remember our pastor telling us on our ceremony that he was telling us that we are going to have times where we don't get along and when we have conflict and things will get hard. And I remember kind of thinking in my head, he doesn't know what he's talking about. We have real love going on between us. Our love is going to cover everything. We're going to get along so well because we didn't really have much conflict when we were engaged. My husband just kind of, my fiance at that time, he was just kind of letting me get things my way a lot. And so we didn't really have much conflict. And then we got married and I had to compromise. And I quickly realized that there's a difference between being in love and loving someone through the hard and challenges that come in marriage. Anyways, so it was just really fun to kind of watch my brother and his new bride being in that in love stage and just being super excited. And I'm just happy for them. Anyways, we got to spend some of the week with my side of the family, and then we went and stayed over at my in-laws' house for a few days and hung out with them and my brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws, and we went to sauna that my in-laws have on their property, and it was really fun. And we went on a triple date with my husband's brothers and their wives, so that was really fun, and just got to hang out with family. Our little one got a stomach bug that she was throwing up on Sunday night. So we were leaving on early Tuesday morning. On Sunday night, she would throw up a lot and throughout the night. So not my husband nor me got any sleep really that night. And thankfully, no one else got the flu. And she was fine the next day. I'm like, okay, great. Because that way we can fly home. Because if someone's throwing up, I don't know if we can fly home. So we were able to fly back home. She did actually quite well in the airport and on the flight back. I think it's because we got up super early in the morning that she was just sleepy and groggy, and she slept right, on our flight back. But when we got home that day, I started to feel queasy in my stomach. I'm like, I think I might be getting the stomach flu, which I did. And one of our youngest sons got the stomach flu. So I did not sleep well that night. And so, which means I slept in. I didn't have my morning routine. Everything felt out of whack. The suitcases were all over the house with a bunch of clothes all over the place because I was feeling so sick. I couldn't, clean up. I didn't have the energy for it. So I pretty much just slept and napped. That next day after we got back, I did take my other two to school because I felt fine, kept the youngest one home. And then it was my PMS week. The house was messy. Everything was out of order. I was sleep deprived. The kids had homework that they were really behind on that they had to catch up with. And the teachers were kind of putting pressure on that because it was the end of the quarter and the grades had to be submitted. So the kids had just that 1 week, the few days to finish homework that they were behind on. Well, my husband had to work double shifts. The kids were not happy that they had to do homework. I was sleep deprived. I was physically not feeling well. I had a headache. The house is a mess. I don't really have any pre-made food. Everything just felt so out of order. I didn't have any alone time. I was super overstimulated from the flight and being over there with family, had no time to decompress. What does that add up to? A recipe for disaster, right? So much stress, so much overwhelm, all these things that are happening out of my control. And I'm a person that if I'm not feeling well, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to slow down and I'm not going to really push myself past my limits unless I absolutely have to. So I wasn't really taking care of the house. I was doing the bare minimum that I needed to just get by, which means the house was kind of crazy and messy. Well, the kids were resisting to do homework. That was not fun. And I felt so out of control. Everything felt so crazy and messy in my head. And guess what? I screamed. I blew up at my kids. I was yelling at them. I just needed them to get that homework done. Why? Because the teachers were putting pressure on me. Otherwise, they would just get missing grades and zeros in the system. And I didn't want to deal with that because I knew they could do the homework. Anyways, they were not motivated to do it. I felt like such a failure. So much mom guilt that was over me and on my shoulders. Why? Because what is my inner talk? When I actually blow up and scream at my kids, which happens rarely, still does, I'm not perfect, but what happens is that my inner talk is not, oh, I'm a bad mom, I'm failing. Well, it is, my inner talk is that I'm failing, but I'm like, I teach this. I should do better. I should be able to control my emotions and my anger because I teach this. That's my inner talk that's creating that mom guilt and shame for me. So I had to stop for a second. And I called my husband and I vented to him and I said, I feel like, because I had no help. My husband was working double shifts. I was so worn out. And I felt really, really reactive because everything just felt out of order. I would even tell my kids, like, I don't care right now that you don't feel like doing homework. It has to get done. Like, I couldn't even have any energy in my brain to regulate, to connect with them. I just felt like everything was so chaotic. And obviously, overreacting and yelling and even screaming creates mom guilt. Unless you are a person that literally doesn't care about your kids, like, it will create mom guilt. So how do you process that guilt? How do you overcome that guilt? So for me, I called my husband. I told him, hey, I'm like, please pray for me. I'm like, I'm not doing well. I have a headache. I took medication, but it's not helping. I'm so overreacting. The kids are not listening to me. Everything just feels messy. I feel like such a failure for yelling and screaming at my kids right now because this is what I teach and I feel like I should do better. And he was so good at reminding me. He's like, no one is perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You're just having a hard time. And that is something that I would say, right, to a friend of mine, or if you're working with me as a client, this is a reminder that I would tell you that you are a good mom. You're just having a hard moment. You are just struggling. You are human. You are worn out and exhausted, and it makes sense. That's not an excuse for you to just, constantly scream and yell at your kids. But if you're having a moment like that, it's because you're struggling. And I remember when I was going to therapy, one of the things that my therapist brought up to me, she's like, what would you tell your closest girlfriend if she was in the same exact position as you are today? What would you tell her? Would you tell her, oh, you're such a bad mom, you're failing, you screamed at your kids, you're terrible, like your kids are going to hate you, you're such a failure? You wouldn't tell her that. You would tell her, like, I see you. I see how you're exhausted. All these things are adding up and you're so overwhelmed. You're so exhausted and it makes so much sense. Like, you're struggling. You're a good mom. You're just struggling and you just need some support and it's just not there and it's not available in this moment. So it makes so much sense. And like, I had to remind that to myself, and then I had to go back and apologize to my kids later on and apologize to God for, for anger taking over me because I was just struggling. And things just felt like too much in that moment. I'm still a good mom. I was just having a hard time. And this is my reminder for you. You are an amazing mom. You're doing your best. You're just struggling and you need some support. And sometimes there's moments where it's not available. And sometimes things are too much and we do explode and we do blow up, and you are human and you're going to have moments and days like that. That does not mean that you're screwing up your kids for life. You can still repair those relationships. You can still ask for forgiveness. You can make amends with your kids, and you can, come to God and ask Him for grace and mercy and forgiveness for you overreacting and screaming and yelling at your kids. So that's kind of like my recap for February. A couple more things. I did connect with Sandy and Lisa, and you will hear my podcast episodes that I recorded with them. Last week, we recorded podcast episodes, and they're going to be airing in March, both of them. So Lisa and Sandy are two women who live in Florida. They're Christians and believers, and they're both podcast hosts and online course creators, and they have an online businesses, and I'm so excited that I was able to connect with them and build relationships. And so we met up in person. They came over to my house and we had tea together and some snacks, and I am just so thankful for that relationship because it was so life-giving for me. It is like a whole different world when you're having an online business. It's a big part of my life. And when I don't really have anyone to talk to about this, you just feel so alone. And like you're just silently struggling with your own struggles. And when you find somebody that gets you and relates with you and can give you some support and encouragement, it is so life-giving, especially when you get to meet up in person. So that is super exciting. So look out for those episodes. Lisa is an organizing specialist, and Sandy, she helps frazzled and overwhelmed moms have more balance in their life. And we recorded an episode all about social media and the effects of social media. Anyways, if this is something that you want to listen to, watch out for those episodes, and I'm so excited to share them with you. So this is my month in a recap, my February, and I will also link the episode below. The one that I talked about when you feel triggered with a crying baby, what you can do, some things that you can calm your nervous system when you feel super frustrated and overwhelmed. And I will see you in the next episode, my friend.
Hey mama, do you find yourself snapping over the smallest things, like spilled milk or constant whining, then feeling horrible afterwards? If you're tired of losing your temper and you want to show up with more patience, I have something for you. It's a free training called How to Be More Patient with Your Kids so you're not screaming over spilled milk. Inside, I'll walk you through 10 simple things you can start doing today to become a calmer, more Christ-like mom, even on the hard days. To get it for free, just leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and send a screenshot to hello@emotionallyhealthylegacy.com. Or if you'd rather skip the wait, you can grab it right now for just $27. The link is in the show notes. Let's help you become the peaceful, patient mom your kids need.